Easy things, hard life. Hard things, easy life. And I really believe that. Every single time you do something hard in your life or you overcome some type of adversity or something that you were deathly afraid of and scared of, and you finally faced your fears and went out and did it, you realize like, yo, it wasn't that bad. Now I feel so much better about myself. And then you're looking to tackle the next project, overcome the next thing. If you only act based off of motivation, you'll never be successful, because there's going to be days where you're not feeling motivated. There's going to be days when you get out of bed and you're like, how the fuck am I going to get through this day? But you do it anyway because of the bigger picture. Sometimes in life, God has to take people out of your life so that you can progress in life. People look at that as like a heartbreak, as a loss. Sometimes the only way to get addition is from subtraction.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 1% Podcast. As always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for showing support. And thank you guys for showing love on every single episode. I have a guest with me today, Zach. It's been, what part is this? It's part 3, part 4 that we've had. I think it's...
Yeah, 4, I think.
4?
Yeah, I think we've done 4, yeah.
Yeah, I got Zach with me today. Zach, what's going on? How we doing?
Good, bro. Yeah. Good, yeah. Busy. Been nonstop lately. Good. It's good though. You know what I'm saying? I had a chapter where I felt very stagnant, where I didn't know what to do with a lot of my time. And now a lot of my time has been filled, but productively, where money's coming in, podcast is growing, gym, relationships, everything, friendships. So like everything is pretty solid right now. So yeah, no complaints coming from my end.
Good, man. Last time we did a podcast, it was a couple months ago, and I was kind of reflecting on, your journey, and before that episode, the last time we did it was 6 months ago, and there was a thought that came up. When did you know, obviously before this, you were doing the Journey podcast for about 3 years, and your journey progressively got better.
Yeah. And
everything started to fall in line. And when you started to see it, when did you know that you had something special? Like, when did you know that this is going to take off?
It took a while. It took a while for me to like really see it through. But I think the one thing that really separated like my thought process and my drive and my belief in that it was going to work is that like I wasn't going to quit no matter what. I was always resilient, and I was always persistent in my work, in my craft, whatever it was. Obviously, first chapter of my life was basketball. So I felt there was a few times in my basketball career where I maybe jumped ship a little too early in transferring. Maybe I should have stuck it out at one of my junior colleges and really fought through the adversity. And I think once I let go of basketball and transition into the podcast, I wasn't driven by results. I was just driven by the fact I'm not going to let myself down. I'm not going to let myself down. There's too many times where I've succeeded in something, but I capped out. And with this, I saw that there was no ceiling. So it just really, I fell in love with it. I really did fall in love with it. All the extra shit is cool. The notoriety, the love, the hate, the messages from people, like all that stuff is cool. But it's just the fact that I know that I'm in full creative control of what I want to do. And I'm not going to quit like ever. Like I'm going to do this shit for the rest of my life. And like, I know that, basketball, I thought that, but one day the ball stops bouncing, and then I thought it was going to be coaching, but then I realized I really didn't love the coaching or the training aspect. But this, I just know how far we can take this thing. So it wasn't there. I don't know if there was like a moment, I guess you could say, like when the TikTok started blowing up or we started getting certain guests on, but a lot of the success in podcasting and content creation is very short lived because it's always what's next. And, you can interview someone great. You can have a crazy, viral clip, but then right after that, it's like, okay, It's a win. We'll celebrate it. But now what's next? Now we have to do more. So I don't know if there was like an aha moment. It was just a kind of like a bunch of different things, but I think it really just was like, hey, like I'm not gonna quit this thing, you know, like I'm really gonna take this shit as far as I can, and that's really it, bro.
Yeah. Because I do know that, you know, there's been some videos that you've had where you've interviewed people and they've done like 2,000 views and then 3,000 views. And then there's been some where you've had over 10K and then, you know, over 20K. And then I do understand where you're talking about like the next video, because the next video that you could do, you could drop 20K views and then the next video could do like 500 or like 400. Like it's not inconsistent, but it's very hard or very easy to kind of lose sight of the bigger picture, you know? And I think that at least for a lot of people, myself included, sometimes it's hard to see that bigger picture. You know, when you're painting and you're trying to focus on the next detail, it's incredibly hard and it can be detrimental to you to kind of take yourself back and take a step back from the picture and just realize like what you're actually creating, you know? And at least you could probably attest to this, that the bigger picture is always more important than the next thing, you know, because at the end of the day, the bigger picture is what's gonna sell everything. Yeah. You know, it's in the details and the small things, but also to a grander scheme of things, you have to be able to sit back sometimes and just look at the bigger picture, or maybe like where you've came from, or, you know, some of the things that you've overcame to be where you currently are right now. And I just want to kind of know, was there any points where the bigger picture was kind of short-sighted in regards to that you maybe lost sight a little bit of the bigger picture?
Yeah, always. You know, there's always times where we get down on ourselves and I'll question it, but it doesn't matter. It's, you know, you can't live your life based off of how you feel. If every single thing that happens in your life, if you react to it based off of your emotions and your feelings, you're not going to make the right decision, especially not with a clear head. So regardless of how you feel, whether you're feeling good, feeling bad, whether you're motivated or unmotivated, like all that shit is temporary. But the thing that will always live on is like discipline, good habits, persistence, consistency. Those key attributes and characteristics that you hold, that's what keeps you going. No matter how you feel at night, some days are worse, some days are better. But if you consistently tell yourself, like, I'm going to do this shit, whether I feel good or not, whether we're getting views or we're not, whether we're making money or we're not, I'm going to do this shit because I believe in it and I love it. That's all that matters. And that's what I've cultivated. I've just cultivated that mindset. Like, it doesn't matter, you know, how I feel about the big picture or moving, or, you know, or the growth of this thing or losing sight. Cause like, bro, you're always going to get down on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, motivation for things are always temporary. If you only act based off of motivation, you'll never be successful, because there's going to be days where you're not feeling motivated. There's going to be days when you get out of bed and you're like, how the fuck am I going to get through this day? But you do it anyway because of the bigger picture, because you know what you want to do with your life. You don't just act on how you feel. If you act on how you feel, you would never do shit. Nothing would get done. And that's what a lot of people act on their emotions and their feelings. Depending on how they feel when they wake up that morning, that's how productive their day is. You string along enough of those days, you wonder why you're not successful. It's because you're living your life based off of how you feel, not with who you are and what you want to do with your life.
Yeah. It's I was thinking about that as I came over, because I left this morning at you see how really discipline matters more than anything. Like discipline and the willingness to, like you said, motivation is incredibly short-lived, right? If you wanted to act on your motivation, that's why sometimes I don't really believe in motivation. You know, I don't really believe in just, it's one quick video. When I was younger, I would watch the Ray Lewis speeches, or I would watch the motivational sports tapes just to be able to make sure that, you know, I'm inspired the next day to be able to go to basketball practice or whatever it is. But as I've gotten older, I realized that the habits are 10,000 times more important than the motivation, because the inspiration will fleet. And it's sometimes in those moments when you're creating something that you have no inspiration or you have no motivation that the best work is really produced.
Yeah.
To give context, I left my house today at 9 a.m. I went to work. After work, I came back. I went to the gym. And by that point, I was already shot. And I was questioning, like, you know, am I going to, I feel drained. So do I have enough motivation, or do I have enough in me to shoot this podcast? And at that point in time, I could have easily said, you know what, Zach, I'm not coming today. I could have easily said, I'm not going to show up. But it was in that decision that I chose to show up that now I'm here with you, and I feel a lot better because I made that small, minor choice to just do it. You know, to just make that little adjustment and swallow any of the pride that I had, where I could have easily sat down and I could have easily, you know, after the gym went back to my house and I could have easily went back to sleep or took a nap and whatever and not done anything productive that day.
Facts.
And it's got to be sometimes more than you. Like, the why has to be more than you, or it has to be the reason for it has to be so much bigger than yourself in order to actually get the stuff done.
Yeah.
Like, if you just continuously did it off of other things in terms of, you know, personal egoic or pride or anything, it's got to be bigger than yourself. And you got to know how many people you are actually going to inspire with your message or with what you're doing, because you never know who's watching.
Yeah, bro. People are constantly at war with themselves. People are always, you know, all day long. You know, you can have conflict in your life, whether it's in a relationship with family, your job, your school, whatever it is. Like, there's going to be constant conflict. And the thing is, with that conflict, you can't control what the other person does. You can't control external factors in your life. But what you can control is your internal factors. And that's that decision that you have to make every day. When you have a choice, do I do the wrong thing or do I do the right thing? More often than not, the wrong thing is easier. The right thing is usually harder, doesn't feel good at first, but after you do it, you feel a lot better. That's why they say, like, easy things, hard life. Hard things, easy life. And I really believe that. Every single time you do something hard in your life, or you overcome some type of adversity or something that you were deathly afraid of and scared of, and you finally faced your fears and went out and did it, you realize, like, yo, it wasn't that bad. Now I feel so much better about myself. And then you're looking to tackle the next project, overcome the next thing. But a lot of the times when you choose the easy route, right, you get that initial hit of dopamine, you get that immediate satisfaction, you get that immediate comfort, and then you have hours of feeling like shit after that because you know what you did was wrong. And then you have to sit there and ask yourself, like, yo, was that even worth it? Should I have done that? And then you look in the mirror and then you question yourself. And then you're like, yo, what type of man am I? How many times am I going to tell myself, yo, I'm not going to do that thing anymore? And I lose to myself and I do it anyway. And then I have to live with that regret over and over again. And it's like, how many times are you going to let yourself down until you finally man the fuck up and do the hard things and do the things that you told yourself you were going to do, even though they might bring some type of adversity and some type of friction in your life? They might make you uncomfortable. How many times are you going to turn away from that and run the other way? And that's a decision a lot of people have to make. It's like, what do you want from your life? How many times are you going to just let yourself down? And people consistently do that over a period of years, and then they wonder why they aren't at where they want to be in their life. They're not happy with their life. They're not happy with their income, with their relationships. It's because you're constantly putting yourself in comfortable situations. You're not challenging yourself, and all you're doing is you're just making excuses for why you aren't at where you want to be in life. And I've struggled with that, of course. We all have, but I'm at the point now, like I had a moment the other week, not even the other week, this week, like the other day, bro, like where I just was like, I'm I'm tired of I feel like settling in a lot of in a lot of aspects of my life. Like I never I don't settle with myself, but I feel like I've settled with other aspects of my life, whether it be the people in my life, the situations I'm in, being a people pleaser and stuff like that. And I look at a lot of the people around me, and I just I can't relate a lot of the time. You know, I can't relate because I feel like a lot of those people are living that comfort route. And I don't want to surround myself around those people. And as I've kind of navigated on this journey, I'm starting to see the people that I'm around now. And I'm really around more of the people that I want to be around. I sat back and it wasn't like a meditation. It wasn't a breath work. It wasn't anything. I was just sitting there. I was just in my own thoughts. And I'm like, yo, the rooms that I'm in now, the people that I'm around now, the situations that are just coming into my life, it's not an accident. It's because I did the fucking work to get there. I worked my ass off to get to this point, and I'm not done yet. But there is a lot of times where I question myself, like, am I worthy of this? Am I supposed to be here? Do I belong here? And some people, for some people, the answer is no. But for myself, bro, I fucking did everything I could to get to this point. So yeah, I do belong in these rooms. I do belong having these conversations with these people. I do belong getting these messages and you know, and emails from certain people and companies and all this stuff. Of course. Because like I put the work in. So I want to continue to do that. To challenge myself and put myself around people that have the same mindset as me. Because if you spend too much time around the wrong people, bro, it'll be your downfall. It really will be. It really will be. Like you can only you can control a lot in your life, but the people around you and the situations you put yourself in, the rooms you put yourself in, they play a huge factor on the trajectory of your life.
Yeah. I think what's not really talked about is how, and you probably can attest to this, but how lonely that period can be until you're able to get into those rooms.
Yeah, did you see the clip I posted the other day, Alex Ramosi?
Yeah.
It's a great fucking clip, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I usually don't post that many clips, you know what I'm saying? Like, I post of myself. I really don't post that many other people. But I was like, yo, that one hit me.
Yeah.
That one really hit me because, yeah, bro, when you're on this path, when you're on this journey to something greater with your life, you outgrow a lot of people. And you may not have the success yet to be in those rooms with the super successful people. But you know that you've outgrown the people that you've came up with. You've outgrown the people that you used to hang out with, the people you used to surround yourself with. But you're just not there yet to get to those other rooms and open that door. So you're kind of in this limbo period and you're just kind of stuck somewhere in the middle. Like, you know you want to be great, but you don't really have the attributes or the monetary success and or the views, whatever you want to call it, to be in those rooms yet. But I think if you are in that phase, you're in the right mindset. You're going the right way, right? Like I'd much rather be alone than surround myself with fake people and people that are bringing me down. I don't want people around me that are going to hold me back and make me settle in life because they wanted to settle with their life. I'd rather be alone and do this thing by myself and do it with 1, 2, 3 people and actually want to work towards something and have a fulfilling life than be comfortable and settle and have the people around me that they don't want the best for me. A lot of people don't even want that's another thing, bro. A lot of people don't want the best for you. They want the best version of you that's going to best suit them. A lot of people don't look at life that way. Not many people actually want you to be great or want the best for you. They want the version of you that's going to best suit them because they want to look at you and see what they can get from you. And when they're taking from you, that's holding you back. And that's what I talked to you about, like compromising, bro. Like
Yeah.
that was a big thing. Like that was a big word these past 2 weeks for me, was like compromising.
How hard has it been for you to cut the people out that maybe you once loved or maybe love, and you notice that, you know what, maybe I'm just on a different path? Like, how hard has that been for you?
I think for a while it was really hard. For a while it was really hard for me to let go of people that I wanted more for them than they wanted for themselves. And I wanted to take them with me, and I wanted to give them everything that I knew because I saw so much for their life, and they just weren't willing to accept it. Immediately it did hurt, and you do have to let go of certain people that you were close with. But I think now I'm just done compromising my happiness and my feelings and my well-being for other people. I'm just done compromising my life to make someone else's life better. I need to make my life the best I can possibly make it, because if I'm the best version of myself, I'll be able to provide people value far greater than I would have been if I would have tried to best suit them at that period in my life. And then you start to see, when you start to cultivate this mindset of like not giving a fuck, you just start to see people just start to exit their way out of your life. They just start to naturally separate out of your life. You just lose people left and right organically. It's not because like you told them like, hey, I don't want you to be in my life anymore, or like we're not good for each other anymore. You're just on two different paths. There's a bunch of forks in the road. I went right, you went left. And this road goes way far that way, and that left road goes way far that way. And that's all it was. That's what I said. Like, I'm naturally just attracting the right people into my life now because of me. I put myself in the position to attract the right people. I didn't go and search for the right people. When you're doing what you're supposed to be doing with your life, and you found your purpose and you find your passion and you do what you love and you fucking work your ass off towards it, you get rewarded. Sometimes in life, God has to take people out of your life so that you can progress in life. People look at that as like a heartbreak, as a loss. Sometimes, the only way to get addition is from subtraction. If you take people out of your life that aren't supposed to be there, your mind would be blown of how far you can get ahead by just one or two people not in your life anymore. A lot of people are comfortable with the people that are around them. And you have to really be conscious of like, what are those people adding to your life? How are those people adding value to your life? Not everything is an even exchange. I'm not saying like I do something for you, you do something for me. That's not the case. Sometimes like I do something for you because I love you, and I'm just going to do that out of the kindness of my heart. And I want to help you because I want to see you be great. Because I know later down the road that favor is going to be returned. Because when you see me in a position where you can help me, you will do the same. Those are the people I want to be around. But there's a lot of times you don't see the value in people sometimes because like, one, you don't give them the chance, or sometimes people don't give you the chance to provide your value. And that's just something for me, bro. Like I'm just at a point in my life, like I've always struggled losing people just since I lost my mom, bro. Like I've always like, that was at a very pivotal point in my life where I lost my mom at the age of 12, and I really didn't understand what death was, but I knew she wasn't here anymore. Like I knew I would never see her again. So every time it was either a friendship or a relationship and I lost them, obviously not to death, but just they weren't in my life anymore and we're basically strangers. We act like we don't know each other anymore. That always hurt me, bro. It always killed me. Like I've always worn my heart on my sleeve. I've always seen the best in people. I've always gave other people the benefit of the doubt. And when people walked out of my life and people left me, I would always question, why did they do that? And I didn't realize it has nothing to do with me. It has more to do with them. But I always put that on me. I was always like, oh, they left me, I'm not good enough. If I was good enough, or if I was better, or if I was a better person, they wouldn't have left me. If I was a better friend, they wouldn't have walked out the back door. But as I've matured, as I've gotten older, and obviously I've matured and grew from that mindset, I kind of put it in the hands of God and the universe. And it's like, if God wants to remove someone from your life, don't fight it. If someone's trying to walk out of your life and someone's trying to leave you, don't fight it. Let them go. God is only removing people from your life to give you an opportunity to grow. And so many times we try to hold on to those people, and we try to beg and plead and beg people to stay in our life. Let those people go. There is a reason they're exiting your life. It's because you are on a different path, and you need to accept that. So yeah, immediately it might hurt, but in the long run, you're going to be so happy that you were okay with letting them go and you moved on, and you are surrounding yourself around so much better people that are actually going to provide value to your life, people that actually have your best interests at heart. Those are the people you want to be around.
There's a lot to digest there. And
yeah.
There was I never really openly spoke about this, but a couple months ago, somebody that I was best friends with for 10 years, we are no longer speaking. And as I do think about him a lot, because something like that, I think is when you give your love and your loyalty to people, and in an instant, they'll act as if nothing happened. They'll act as if the love that you've given them, the care, you sacrificing certain things for you to go out of your way, for you to do things that maybe you might have not even had the means to do.
Mm-hmm.
And in an instant to just say, regardless of, what I was there for, and it's never been the monetary things, right? It's just like, oh, what's going on? How you doing? I'm here for you. And even in the worst of times and in the best of times. And I think I'm happy that you said that, because for me, that was something that I've struggled with. It's not like something that's kept me up at night, but for me, when I've given my love, my compassion self, my empathetic self, and I'll give you the clothes off my back. I'll give you my last dollar. If you've been loyal to me and you've been respectful towards me and you've been there for me, I have no problem doing that. But in doing so, the only thing I expect is the same. I don't expect nothing else. I don't expect you to give me money, anything monetary value. The only thing I expect is respect, loyalty, and love. Because I'm going to do the same for you.
Facts.
And I've wanted to reach out and be able to, say something to him, because I care about him and I love the person that he is. But at the same time, I have to realize, like you said, if somebody walks out your life, it's probably for the better. It's probably that phase, that uncomfortable phase where you're trying to shed the new skin and you're trying to become and evolve into this new version of self.
Yep.
And sometimes you have to be hit. Like sometimes you really have to hit that understanding that most people will not be in your life forever.
Yeah.
And I think it's the hardest to understand, and it's the hardest to really grasp when you've given that love and that compassion and that empathetic version of self, and you've just given your all. And I think that's the hardest pill to swallow.
Yep.
Is that when you love somebody sometimes more than you love yourself, how that really backfires. Because you want to please that other person, because you want to make that other person feel heard, understood, seen, all of the above.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you know that they may have needed that at that point in time in their life. And the only thing you expect is the same.
Facts.
And that's been something for me that I've struggled with in the past, but more or less this situation that I've expected nothing in return. Just the same thing that I'm giving you.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that you could probably attest to that as well, that when you've given so much of yourself and you've gone so little, how much that actually hurts and how much you try to not be the bad guy. You know, you don't try to change. You try to continuously be the person that you've always have been.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the hardest pills to swallow is just don't change the version of self, but change the access of what you give it to others.
Yeah. No, for real.
Yeah.
You want some more? You want some more drink? Yeah, get right.
shout out
Jake's
to
Clooney. Gonna
Clooney.
come back. He's gonna be like, "Whoa, what the fuck? The whole bottle's gone." Nah, bro.
But more or less, I appreciate you for just even though I met you at a point in time, you know, reflecting a couple years ago to when we first met to now, you know, you've never changed, you never switched up, and you've always been the same, and you've always motivated me and supported me and anything that I do, and that doesn't come by very often, at least for myself, because like you, a lot of people have chose to exit my life or chose to not be around me because they think I have this certain persona or whatever. So I just want to, you know, give you your flowers.
No, I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, bro. Like, I was always like a really good judge of character. So like from the day that we met, from the day that we started like, you know, really speaking and like fucking with each other, like, bro, like I fuck with you. Like I told you, like you're a solid dude. Like me and Jake will say that, like, bro, like any opportunity that like that we have that like we can put you on and help you out, bro, like we will. Like you're solid. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've always been that way to people. That's why it always hurt me when people walked out of my life, is because like I know I've been solid to you. I know I've really been a good person. I have a really good heart. I really tried my best to like be a good person in your life. So then when you walked out of my life, I question myself. I'm like, damn, am I not good enough? If I was good enough, you would have stayed. That's what hurt. That's what used to hurt me the most. But now I start to realize, like, I know deep down, bro, I'm a good fucking person. I really try to help people. I've always put other people before me. So if you want to walk out of my life, if you want to leave me, if you want to say, fuck you, go for it. Because I know deep down, bro, like, I'm a good person. And at the end of the day, it's your loss. It's not mine. And, bro, like, I lost, bro, this a couple years ago, like, bro, I lost, like, my best friend. Bro, my best friend. Like, my best friend, bro. He was going to be the best man at my wedding. Like, we spoke about that shit. Like, we would talk about the speech he was going to give at my wedding. Bro, I haven't spoke to him in, like, 2 years. I didn't even wish him a happy birthday this year. We don't speak, bro. Like, we've known each other since we were 5 years old, bro. He was my neighbor. At the bus stop together. Don't speak no more. He has a girlfriend. I guess he's happy. And that was it. It was like he got a girl. He just cut me off. I didn't do anything to him. Just left. And I've moved on from it. I get it. But I still question it. I'm like, bro, like, you can have a girl. We could still be friends. We could still hang out on the week. You know what I'm saying? Like, on your free time. But yeah, that one hurt me, bro. Like, I've lost a lot of people close to me. A lot of people, and not to death. Like, they've just walked out of my life for no apparent reason. And that's why I've for a long time I questioned myself, like, yo, is it me? Is it me? But now I'm at the point where, like, I'm confident enough in myself, and I know the actions that I put out into the world, and I know the love that I give, and I'm like, bro, like, it's not me. There's not many, bro. I don't know one person that could genuinely say bad things about me. Maybe one of my ex-girlfriends, you know, like. But other than that, like, sure, she could be mad at me maybe because I broke up with her, but she can't say I was a bad dude. I wasn't a bad person. Like, I hold myself to a standard because I always know my mom is watching me. Like, how would my mom view me, like, if I treated someone this way? My dad didn't raise me that way to be a bad person. Like, I was raised to be a good person, bro. You need to give love into this world. Like, you have to go out and help people. You have to be a selfless individual. Not all the time you're going to get something in return. Sometimes you have to do things just for the goodness of someone else, just to make someone else's life better. And that always makes me feel good. If I can provide value to your life and make your life better, make your life easier, and I get nothing in return, I'm good. I'm happy with that. Because I know that because of the person I am, I made your life better, and you're in a better position now to succeed. You'll always remember that. And that's something that goes unnoticed, unsaid. But between me and you, you know that I made your life better. And I'm cool with that. I'm good with just being a good person. A lot of people are not good people. They're just not good people, bro. They're selfish. They're nasty. They're insecure with who they are. And they project their traumas and their hurt on you. A lot of the times when people do negative things and they go and hurt you, it has nothing to do with you. It's because of how they feel with themselves. And when you get hurt in that situation, you take it personally. And you have to have empathy for those people. Because they're only doing that because they're not happy with themselves. They're not happy with who they are. They're hurting inside. All the negativity that's spewed in the world, all the hate, all the fucking traumatic shit that happens, it's because people aren't solid. People aren't happy with who they are. People aren't happy with their lives. And that's why you can't take anything personally. 4 agreements. Did you read it?
Yeah.
What's one of the rules? Don't take anything personal. Don't take anything personal. And that's such a hard thing to swallow, bro. That's such a tough pill to swallow, is not taking anything personal. But you have to be like, all right, well, okay. You know, if that's how you want to be, okay. And that's what it is. And like when people show you that side of them, when people show you who they really are, trust me, believe them. Don't try to make up who you think they should be or who you think they could be. Believe them when they show you who they are. Because that's a huge thing that people do. Someone does you wrong and you try to make excuses for their actions. That's the worst fucking thing you could do. When someone does something to you, believe them because they'll do it again. The more you give them chances to do you wrong, they will do it over and over again until you believe them, exit them out of your life, and move on. That's what you have to do with those types of people. Because they're not hurting you because of who you are. They're hurting you because of who they are. They're hurting you because of who they are. They're hurting you because of how they perceive themselves. A lot of the time, it has, like I said before, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. It has solely to do with how they feel about themselves. And when they treat you a certain way, you can't take it personal. You have to accept it. Okay, that's how you feel. Cool. I'm good. Because if you are solid with who you are, you'll always be good.
That's been a thing that's really been a thing I've struggled with. Because deep down I always felt like it was me, you know? Like I've always questioned myself in terms of you talked about this earlier. Am I really deserving of it? You know? Yeah. Am I really deserving of what I'm doing? And I felt it more, not even just like in my relationships, just in my personal success. Like, am I really, really deserving of what I'm doing? And I kind of just want to, think about that for a minute. And shout out to Theo Von. I know he said that, but
what'd he say?
Oh, he told Jordan Peterson, he was like, I just want to think about that with you for a minute.
Yeah, I love Theo, bro.
Yeah,
he's so good. You watch a lot of his shit?
Yeah, Theo Von.
He's
a great guy.
He's fucking good. He was on my dream dream list of guests.
Yeah, he's such a great guy.
He's on my dream list. I'll get him on one day, bro.
Yeah,
I will. Yeah, I think I will.
I know you will. But I don't know, because I've tried to understand, well, where's the unworthiness coming from? Why do I feel like I am unworthy of success? Why do I feel like sometimes I am unworthy of love? And the only thing I could think of is the fact that sometimes, even when I feel like I'm doing enough, I don't know if I am doing enough.
Facts.
You know?
Yeah.
Like sometimes when I feel like I'm doing all I can with my personal endeavors, with my personal relationships, I feel like I'm doing as much as I can. But then there's this little thought, like, you could do more. You can do more.
You always can do more. You always can do more.
But then I struggle, because I thought about this last, when I had Jake on the episode, like, how much is more and how much is too much? And when's the fine line between empathy and compassion for yourself, and when's the fine line, you need to do more. You need to push yourself to an extra gear, or you need to push yourself to another level. Because my mind goes to another level. My mind doesn't go to, let's show some compassion. And I think that's why I feel sometimes that I'm undeserving or unworthy of it. It's because I don't show that love or compassion to myself. We have the cameras, and it was a month since I posted an episode, but in that time I was doing nothing. It wasn't I was just sitting on my couch or just sitting on my bed and not doing anything. I was planning. I was trying to be strategic with what I'm going to do next.
All right, can I cut you off?
Yeah.
That's the problem. The people that are successful in life, bro, they don't plan for what's next. They do. You have to be a doer. You can't be a planner. That's the thing. There's so many, like Chris Williamson spoke about this. There's so many people that they think writing the thing down, posting the thing, thinking about the thing, manifesting the thing, telling other people the thing. That's not doing the thing. Actually going out and doing it is doing the fucking thing. So many people think they're doing something with their life just because they posted about it, or they plan to do it, or they wrote it in their fucking vision board. That's not doing the thing. It's actually going out and putting in the work, putting in the effort, putting in the time. That's doing the thing. A lot of people have that shit confused, and social media has fucked up people's mindsets with that. They think, oh, I'm going to sit and plan, and I'm going to come up with this master, execution of how I'm going to do it. No. Just fucking do it. Do it and fail over and over again. Learn from your mistakes and grow. That's how you get better. That's how you succeed in life. You don't succeed by planning. You succeed by doing. You have to be a doer. And that's a thing. That's why, like, on that episode, obviously this will air after Jake's episode, I was sitting right there. And when Jake asked you, are you doing everything you're supposed to be doing? I told you in the car ride home, your answer should have been absolutely the fuck not. Because I'm not. You're not. I'm not. Jake's not. You can always do more. Every single person in this world can always do more. And it's whether you want to actually do it more. And that's what you have to do. You have to look yourself in the mirror. You have to really look at yourself and be like, what do I really want from my life? Do I really want the things that I say I want? Do I actually want to be that person? And if the answer is yes, now you have to backtrack. Look at your actions. Look at your habits. Look at your past month. Has your day-to-day added up to the person you want to be? If it's not, you're a fucking liar. You're lying to yourself. You can lie to other people, but when you lie to yourself, that's the worst fucking person you can lie to. You can't fool yourself, because deep down, you always know when you're doing the right or the wrong thing. You always know if you're doing enough or you can do more. Nobody knows your limit better than you know your limit. People can say, oh, yo, you're doing a lot. Deep down, I know I'm not doing enough. I know I can always do more. I know I can be better. I know the greatness that's inside of me. A lot of people settle because outside noise, outside opinions, the people around you, they tell you, good job. Yo, you're doing a lot. Congratulations. And what does that do? Subconsciously, that makes you feel like, yo, I'm doing enough. I'm making the people around me proud. Fuck the people around you. Make yourself proud. That's what you have to do. That's what a lot of people do, bro. A lot of people do that shit. My most viral clip, the shit across platforms with other people posting it, has over 100 million views. That one clip, when everyone around you is telling you how good you're doing, but deep down you know you're not, you feel like you're not doing shit. And that's how I feel every fucking day. And that's what we started this pod with. The discipline, the habits, the making the right choice, doing the uncomfortable thing, doing the thing that you know that you should do, but there is some type of friction, some type of wall, some type of barrier that's stopping you from doing that thing. And usually it's nothing that is in our reality. All it has to do with in your mind. It's in your mind that's what's holding you back from actually accomplishing the things that you set out to do. So to cut you off, like, yeah, bro, that month, yeah, you might have went to school or you might have went to work. You might have planned. You might have wrote shit down. But, bro, the proof is in the pudding. The numbers don't lie. You didn't drop a podcast. You're a podcaster. You want to have a fucking huge self-help podcast about people growing 1% each day. You didn't do it for a month. And guess what? It's not the end of the world. You made the change. I've seen it since then. What'd I do? I hit you up the other day. Yo, it's a good thumbnail. You improved your thumbnails. What'd you do? You went on Fiverr. Like, people think the changes in their life are like astronomical. Like, yo, I can't do this thing, bro. Like, this answer, bro, this shit is so hard. Like, I can't figure it out. Bro, what'd you do? You took 30 minutes. You went on Fiverr. You scrolled down a little bit. You found someone and they made you a thumbnail for $10. And it enhanced your thumbnail. And me as a podcaster, as a content creator, someone that understands this space, I looked at you, I said, yo, that's a good thumbnail. Your thumbnail's improved. Sometimes you gotta outsource. Sometimes you gotta delegate work. Because your job, you want to be a speaker, you want to be a motivator, you want to be an influencer, you want to be a podcaster. You're not a fucking graphic designer. I tried to make my thumbnails for so long. Yo, someone came into my life that does better than me. Let them do it. Everyone tries to do everything on their own. You will be so much more successful in life when you surround yourself with a team and you let people be great at what they do. Be great at what you do. Be a great speaker. Be a great podcaster. Don't let other people, don't let your mind like, oh, I need to do everything by myself. Bro, the most successful people in the world, they've all had a fucking team around them. The people that are winners in life, the people that are uber successful in life, the idea started with them, the dream started with them, and then they knew they had to delegate. They knew they had to outsource to experts in specific crafts. So that's what that's my advice to you is like, yo, like keep doing that. Like if you have to hire someone, if you have to spend the extra money to go out and improve your craft, improve your process of your posting and your podcast and your speaking, whatever, bro, do that. Do that. You can only be great at so many things. When you try to spread yourself thin, that's when you wear yourself out. There's so many times we try to take on all these projects. We try to fucking control every single thing in our life. And we drain ourselves, bro. We bring ourselves to E. We put our battery on 0. When you can spend a couple extra dollars here or there and you can just outsource it. You can outsource it and let that person be great at what they do so I can spend more time on focusing on being great at what I do. And bro, that's a fact, bro. Because I saw a change in you immediately from that conversation. Jake hit you with a reality check and you were like, cool. You dropped a pod with a huge fucking guest. I watched a lot of it. I watched the clips. Great guest. Better thumbnail. Bro, you improved. Yeah. You got more than 1% better since then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Real shit, bro.
No, I appreciate that.
And good shit on that.
Thanks.
Who's calling me?
Who is that?
Yo, this is my teammate from Baton Rouge. This is crazy. Yo, I'm live on a pod right now. Middle of the pod, my boy. Yo, let me call you. I'm doing another pod after this. Let me call you back after this. I'm definitely gonna chop it up with you. All right.
This guy's a superstar now.
No, bro, this was my best friend from college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like real shit. My best friend. Like we went to school together in Louisiana, and then we both went to the Virgin Islands together.
Good man.
Like we both went there because we had each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my guy, bro. Quintre. Shout out Quintre, bro. He's a good dude, solid dude.
Good man.
That's what I'm saying. Like out of all the people in JUCO, I still talk to a few people, but that's the dude that I speak to like all the time.
Now we got cousin Jake.
What are we
looking on time? What are we looking on time?
We're on 50 minutes.
I bet.
Yeah, 50 minutes. We're ripping.
To go back to that point, I realized that, and you can only go so far, by yourself, and that's part of the reason why you got Jake as a co-host, because you probably only realize that I can only do this so much by myself.
No, 100%, bro.
If I can have somebody else, or I can have other people, like you said, delegate certain responsibilities or things that I could just be able to dish out and outsource, it makes your whole life a lot easier. There's a YouTube channel, Diary CEO. He actually has another channel. Shout out Jake. He has another channel where he shows like the behind the scenes and everything. And there's one episode where he showed the editors like actually editing, like sitting there editing, and all he has to do is just focus on the guest, and everything else is taken care of by his editing team, by everything.
No, for real.
And he just got to focus on being the CEO of a company and producing the podcast, being a podcast host. So I think that when people, the misconception between people is that they feel like when other people help them, they're doing a handout, like they're being handed something. But when you have a community, when you have a larger group that want the same goal, that want the same thing as you start to understand that I could go a lot further. Mm-hmm. And that was one thing that I came in contact with, where I thought I could do everything. Like I could do this, I could do that, I could do this. But then I realized there was days where I was just burnt out and I had no energy to do anything else.
Yeah.
And just, let me focus on the thumbnail for like 2 hours, or like, let me do this for 2 hours. And then you realize that your day is gone.
Yeah.
You have no time left in your day. There's only so much time in a day that you could be able to delegate to certain things.
Yeah.
So that was definitely something, but I kind of wanted to ask you, I'm not sure how you guys looking on time.
Bro. Yeah,
right.
dude. Yeah. Keep ripping.
To be able to be uberly successful, you have to have some delusion. And the last time, 6 months ago, I asked you about your chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
To some degree, I feel like chip on your shoulder and delusion, they kind of go hand in hand. But was there any delusion in your journey that you had to be able to kind of cultivate that certain mindset to be able to understand, like, I'm going to be so delusional, I'm going to understand that I'm going to have Gary Vee, Theo Von, all these people on my podcast, while you're telling other people, and maybe they don't understand, or maybe they think that you're crazy. Was there any kind of certain delusional mindset that you've created before everything else?
Yeah, I feel like you have to be delusional in anything you do. Like, nobody's going to believe in you. Nobody's going to care about your shit more than you. And I've just had that instilled in me since I was a kid. Like, I just always knew that I was going to be great. I always knew that I was going to be good at something. I always knew that there was whatever I was going to pursue, like, I was going to do it. Sure, there's a little bit of delusion involved, and you have to be a little bit delusional, but it's just more like the self-belief. And the only way you have self-belief is from the work that you put in prior to that. When you know, like, the work that you put in behind the scenes that nobody else sees, it's okay for you to be delusional, because deep down you know, like, yo, I already put in the work. I already did what I was supposed to do. So when I tell people what I'm going to do, whether they think it's crazy or not, like, I know the work I'm putting in. They don't know the work that I'm putting in. They always said, like, in basketball, like, that was a term, like, I always use, like, the the work you put in, like in an empty gym, and when nobody's watching, the results will show, like when the stadium's packed out. And that was always my mindset. Nobody knew, like, when I would go and put up 1,000 shots a day, and I'd wake up at 5 a.m. and then come back at 12 p.m. and then go back and put up more shots at night. They would just see me hitting 8 threes in the game and be like, oh, this dude's good. It's like, bro, you don't see the blood, sweat, and tears I'm putting in. They don't see, like, after that game, I'm going back and I'm breaking down my film, right? So that was instilled in me as a basketball player. So now with the podcast, it almost comes easier because there's no physical pain, right? There's no, like, physical pain that I have to put in. Maybe the mental pain that I have to put in is more grueling and more intensive, because I feel like mental pain is sometimes harder than physical pain. But I've never been someone to not believe in myself. Yes, was there moments where you get down on yourself, like we spoke about earlier? Of course, the motivation isn't always going to be there. The drive, the belief in yourself. Sometimes you question it when the morale is low and times are rough, right? And you feel like you're at rock bottom. But deep down, you always know if you're putting the work in. If I know, like, day in and day out, I'm putting the work in, I'm putting my best foot forward, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, like, the work will eventually show. The cream always rises to the top. So yes, there has to be some form of delusion, but I just think it's more self-belief. The word delusion sounds cute. A lot of people like, yo, I was delusional. What rapper did Busta Rhymes was talking about it the other day. I saw a clip. Like, he was like, you have to be so fucking delusional in yourself that when you finally do it, people was like, yo, this guy's a genius. But nobody believes you until you actually do it. They look at you like you're crazy until it's actually on paper, you know what I'm saying? Like, the proof is in the pudding. That's when people believe it. As long as you believe in yourself while you're on this path, nothing else matters. A lot of people get deterred from outside opinions, from the noise, from the opinions of others, when you tell them your delusional dream and then they shoot you down or they try to downplay it. But as long as you know you're putting the work in, you're fine. It's the people that are delusional and they have these crazy dreams and they have these, things that make people, like, raise an eyebrow, but deep down they know behind the scenes they're not putting in the work. Those are the people that are idiots, because they talk all this big game, but they're doing nothing to put themselves in a position to actually get there. That's the difference. Like, people could say they're delusional, but there are some people that are actually fucking delusional. It's like, yo, you're not good at what you do. You don't put the work in. You don't dedicate your life to this, but you tell everyone you want this from your life. That doesn't happen. God does not reward that. God rewards people that put the work in, put the pain in. He's going to make you suffer over and over again. He's going to make you learn from every single lesson, every single failure, because he's preparing you to finally reach that delusion with your work. And when that delusion and work finally meets, that's when people tell you, yo, you were a genius. I always knew you were going to be great. It's like, no, you didn't. You didn't know what the fuck I was doing this whole time. But you see it now. But deep down, I always knew what I was doing. So that's really what it is, bro.
Good gems in there.
Yeah.
Podcast aside, personal life aside, what's something that you've been working on within yourself?
In myself, bro, honestly, is just more confidence, more belief, more just trying to create good habits, like I said earlier, surround myself with better people, and just continue to work, bro. I mean, I told you I had a moment this week where I just sat by myself and I was like, stop telling yourself like you're not worthy. Stop questioning yourself. Like, you're exactly where you are because of what you've done. So that's really something that I've been just trying to instill into myself, of just just believe in your craft. Believe in who you are as an individual. Believe the person that you say you are. A lot of the people, their actions and their habits don't align with actually who they are. People perceive themselves to be a certain way. People perceive themselves to be this facade, and then none of their actions, none of their habits align with that image. So that's one thing I'm really trying to work on. It's like, yo, actually be the person that you fucking say you are. If I'm going to sit on here and be on a microphone and have a platform and try to make people's lives better, yo, actually be that fucking person. There's so many people on the internet now with social media and everything. They try to be a person that they're not. It's like the real recognizes real. I see right through that shit. There's so many times where I speak to someone and I'm like, you're not that fucking person. You are not who you say you are. I can see right through the bullshit. I just want to be solid in who I am. Who I am behind closed doors, who I am when I'm by myself, is the same person when I'm sitting across from you looking you in your eyes. That's the person I want to be. So that's the main thing that I want to work on, because I just see too much bullshit in the world now. Too many bullshit people out there. Everyone's trying to put on this front and this fake of who they are, because more often than not, they're not actually who they say they are. So yeah, that's really what I'm working on, bro, and just working, bro. You know, like it's hard sometimes. Like, bro, I'm doing a lot right now. Like with just editing and posting and grinding and trying to and I'm actually doing it. I'm not just saying it. I'm actually doing it. And then I'm still taking the time. Like I'm hitting the gym. I'm working on my diet. Like there's all these aspects of my life that I'm working on. And sure, does it get draining? Does it get mentally tolling? Does it get frustrating at times? Absolutely. But it's good. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm in this position. It's like, what else would I be doing? If I wasn't doing this, I'd be fucking working some bullshit 9-to-5 job answering to some asshole. I'm so happy with where I'm at. I want more work. When you get more work, that's when you delegate. That's when you outsource. Because when you get more work, usually there's more money. And then you have the means to outsource shit, you know? So I'm just trying to just cultivate a mindset of like you're exactly where you're supposed to be because of the work that you put in, and everything that's happening in your life is because like you deserve it. Like you're worth it. You earned this. Stop questioning myself. So yeah, that's really where I'm at.
Sound like you just trusted your own journey.
Yeah. Where are you at?
In terms of that, honestly, bro, I think it's just that, like you said, that last episode that I shot with Jake, it kind of really like put things into perspective. I'm not saying that just because he's here. It's just because like there's been a perspective change. Like that last time I saw you guys. Since then, bro, I've shot 2 to 3 podcast episodes.
There you go.
And it's just, I told my friend a story the other day, and it was a couple weeks ago, right after the podcast episode, and I talked to him about regret. And my dad often tells he doesn't tell me that he regrets a lot of things, but you could visually see it in his actions.
Right.
And I was just sitting in a meditation one time, and I was just like really trying to understand 10 years from now, what if I don't actually execute what I wanted to do? What would that look like? I'd probably be the same fucking person that he would be. Depressed, fucking overweight, all that. And I saw it firsthand. And I've always told myself I do not want to be like my dad. I want to be better than my dad. And it takes a lot to really be tired of the narratives that you're telling yourself or the things that you're telling yourself. It takes a lot sometimes. Sometimes you have to get to that point where it's the tipping point in terms of you know your shit stinks and you know that you could be doing more, but it's just that wall that you're fighting to overcome that. And sometimes that's the hardest part, is to overcome that wall, because you know it. And me, I'm self-aware. So I know when that point is. And I know when I'm either, one, not doing enough, or I know when I could be doing more. I know sometimes when I need to take a step back. But when you're so critically self-aware and you kind of sit with yourself and you realize, like, what would it be like if I took it to that next gear? Like, how different could my life be in 6 months if I just took it to that next gear? Like, if I just obsess of what I'm currently doing, if I just follow this track of just doing it, like what you talked about, just fucking doing it instead of just overthinking it or over analyzing it, just like doing it. How different could my life be in the next 6 months? And I sat with that thought and I just tried to visualize, well, what could that be? A little bit of a manifestation, but also too of kind of reflecting of what you've already seen in your life. And that's not something I want to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's just to understand that you're young right now, you're in school, and you have the time to be able to be a little bit on vacation because you know that you're not taking school that serious. So you have this time to just get by and focus on other things that you're creating. So for me, that's something that I'm currently focusing on, is just, I want to make this year the year of execution. After that podcast, I sat with myself on the fucking Long Island train. And I was like, just execute. Everything else will take care of itself if you just execute.
Yeah.
And that's for me something that I want to be able to do, not only now, but just going forward, and just focus on execution and just not so much of overanalyzing or overthinking.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love that.
What's been something, I guess a couple more questions here, but what's something that you've been trying to forgive yourself more for?
Forgive myself. I mean, just being so hard on myself, it kind of goes hand in hand with the last answer. Just like, just believe in who you are, bro. Just believe in actually who you are. Like, deep down, I know I'm a good person. I put the work in. I do the right things. I treat people the right way. And, just stop being so hard on yourself. I was always my own worst critic. I was always my toughest, my toughest opponent. I would always, either downplay certain things I did or overanalyze a situation that I could have done differently. And it's like, just accept what is and be okay with it, and then learn from it, and just stop being so hard on yourself. Because, like, we don't, I would never speak to someone the way I speak to myself. And that's something that has been tough. Self-talk is a huge thing. The way you talk to yourself is you believe yourself a lot of the time. So when you consistently tell yourself, like, you're not good enough, or you're not doing enough, or like you could be better, and it's all these negative things, like, you over time start to believe that. You need to reprogram that subconscious, or technically that conscious mind, and feed yourself good shit, and be more lenient with who you are, So I wouldn't, something I want to forgive myself. Yeah, just that, bro. Just be more okay with what you're doing, and stop being so hard on yourself.
Last question. I usually ask people, like, what do they want to become 1% better in, but I kind of want to cater it towards your podcast. Somebody, they're unsure of where they want to go in their life, and since your podcast is called the Journey Podcast, what would you tell somebody right now if they're unsure of where they're going? What's the number one thing that you would tell them to be able to make sure that they're focused on going in the right direction or the right journey?
I mean, I think it's like a cumulative answer of like this entire podcast of like what we spoke about. Like, if you're here and you watch this, like, break down every single thing we spoke about, and then, like, take action on that, like, add that into your life. Like, let go of the horseshit people in your life. Like, believe in yourself. Actually do the work. Don't just write shit down or tell people you're going to do this or manifest this. Like, actually go out and do it. So many people like kids or younger people that are lost watching this, like, to answer your question, I mean, so many people, like, they want all these things out of their life. They want this, and I want to do this. And it's like, yo, like, what are you actually doing? Are you actually doing the things that is going to lead you to what you want out of your life? A lot of people have to have a reality check. They have to look themselves in the mirror and ask themselves, did I get 1% better today? Did I actually do what I say I was going to do? Or did the thing that was a little hard or a little uncomfortable, did I run away from it? People are at where they're at in life because of their day-to-day, because of the decisions that they make, because of the situations that they put themselves in. Yes, there are people that are born in unfortunate situations, are, maybe genetically not the most gifted. But there's too many success stories out there. There's too many people that have done it from the mud, from absolutely zero, and made something out of their lives. Not because luck or fortune or they were gifted something. It's because they actually went and put the work in. They actually went out and did what they loved, and then they didn't care of outside opinions, and they pursued something specifically. They were strategic. They had a target. And then they worked backwards. They did certain things that was going to put them in a better position to be successful. A lot of people, they play the blame game. They look at excuses in their life. They make excuses for themselves, and they want sympathy. Nobody cares. As harsh as that sounds, like, nobody cares, bro. Nobody gives a fuck of what happened to you. You look at the people that have been through the worst shit. Maybe the first day, if you post about it, you lost a loved one. You know, something traumatic happens in your life. Tragedies. You're unfortunate, whatever. I'm not trying to come off like an asshole, bro, because, like, I've been through my fair share too, and, like, I've had I'm grateful for the life that I've lived because I haven't been that unfortunate. But it doesn't take away from the fact, like, whether you're rich or you're poor, you still have to go out and do something. You see these rich kids all the time that are trust fund babies. They're miserable. They commit suicide. They do terrible things. They get on drugs. They have all the money in the world, but they're not fulfilled because there's nothing to work towards. Fulfillment comes from work, comes from pain, putting in blood, sweat, and tears, putting in hours into your craft and actually loving it, and then seeing results. And it might not be the results you want in the end game, but it's growth from where you started. So that's how you know, like, yo, if I grew from point A to point B, I can grow to the next point, and I can keep going. Jesse from that used to be on Nelk. Like, I watched, he left Nelk, sold out of full send, got his payout, got his buyout, and started this whole brand Sunday. He dropped a 7-minute YouTube video the other day just about, like, what happened with Sunday, of how hard it was. And all he said was, like, yo, fuck the money. It's not about the money. It's about creating something with special people around you and putting in the work every day and really grinding towards something and loving it and having failures and having hardships and having bad times and low times, but then having highs and sharing experiences. Like, that's what it's all about, you know? So for anyone watching this and is at this point, that's what it is, bro. Find something that you genuinely care about, that you genuinely love about. Find like-minded individuals and just put in the work day in and day out. Whether that thing succeeds or not, you're creating a person that's going to be in a position to be successful in any aspect of your life. Not all the time when you set out to do something, that thing ends up happening. Like, I set out to be a professional basketball player. It didn't happen, but it led to this. The only reason this happened is because I played college basketball and I got hurt and I came across Jake's story. You know what I'm saying? You have to be open to the downfalls in your life. Just like I said, like, God will remove people in your life. God will also remove situations and lifestyles from you. Not because he's trying to take it from you and shun you. He's trying to open up a new door so you can go be great. But you have to be open to that. You have to be willing to accept that loss. And the only way there's addition is sometimes from subtraction. So it's just accepting that.
Good man.
Yeah.
Appreciate this episode.
No, this was good, bro. This was really good.
Shout out to George Clooney for fucking creating a banger, damn it.
Casa, bro. We love the Casa.
Some good stuff.
Thank you guys for tuning in if you guys made it this far. Where can the people find you on social media?
Instagram, ZTC6. Also at The Journey Podcast. YouTube, Instagram. You type in The Journey Podcast. We own it now. So that is, you don't got to put the underscores or whatever. Type in The Journey Podcast, ZTC6, and go check it out.
Appreciate you guys rocking with us. Appreciate you guys for all your support and love. This is the 1% Podcast. I'm out.